Today we're going to be adding some fake patina to this Seiko SKX 031 with just general household items. Hi and welcome to Clockbait. We've kicked Luke off the team, he's no longer part of us, and instead we've been joined by Monty the dog. No, only kidding. Luke will be back next week. He's off doing family things, so I just thought I'd do a quick video so we'll at least get one out this week. Monty's very eager to crack on with this one. So after messing about with my Orient, you might have seen on Instagram where I bleached the bezel and I also added like a faux coffee patina to the hour markers. I thought I'd really quite like it, but then I completely ruined it by adding some acrylic paint. So it now looks like Ronald McDonald's or Mr. Blobby's watch. Still wear it quite a bit actually. It's great for just knocking about doing DIY or working on a car. But this watch I really quite like. I'll add in some B-roll of it later on, but I think this could really work well with some faux patina and make it a bit more characterful. A lot of people will get angry with it, but it'll be fine. So first of all, I have a cup of bleach. Literally just pop the bezel off and then we put the bezel in there, and then literally just some horrible thick coffee that I will use, cocktail sticks and just your general cotton buds to be added into the hour markers on the dial. So fairly easy products you should most people have laying about the house. The only tricky thing is obviously using the tools to get the watch parts. So just generic cheap nasty thing from Amazon, case back opener, and this little knife which is quite handy, coming one of those cheap kits from Amazon again. A very small little pusher that I'll be using to push down to take the crown out to get the movement out, and a small screwdriver again which I might just be using to lever the movement out. So yeah, might as well crack on. So first things first is taking the actual bezel off of the watch, and then we can just pop that into the bleach whilst we're doing the other things and just keeping an eye on that. So just using this knife, really, if that will focus. Yeah, just using this knife, and you pop it in between the actual bezel itself. I always like to do it at the bottom for some reason, but yeah, between the bezel and the case, and you just pop it in and then just pry up. So it's quite a quick, simple, easy job. So that's off already. There's a little gasket in there which probably, I don't know if you can see that, there's a gasket in there that's broken, which is probably the reason why when I took it on the beach the other day, I ended up with a load of water inside the watch. So yeah, away that goes. And literally, cup of bleach, just pop it in there so it's face up, give it a little swoosh, and it should be about 5-6 minutes, something like that. That is what you're left with. Actually looks quite nice without the bezel on. So I can move that out the way now, and literally, as I say, the cheap tool from Amazon should now do the trick. So you just line it up and then twist undo. I've had this open recently due to the aforementioned water, so mine was quite easy to undo. You might find your watch is a little bit stiffer, unfortunately. And then the next thing to do is literally just undo the crown. Don't pull it out, but literally just keep it in just before you start to thread it in. And then what you'll notice is on this side, using this tool, you can then push down a little clip, which I'll do down here because it makes that a little bit easier. And you just push in this little lever and then you can pull the crown out. And then after that, it's just a case of, some watches you can tip upside down and they'll come out. But obviously others they can't, so just look for a safe place to kind of pry it out, and once you pry that out you can literally just tip that up Like, so once that's out, you'll notice it's still running, which makes it a little bit difficult when you're trying to apply the coffee to the to the loom, but just got to be careful, that's all. So that can go out of the way over there now, and then this, I always just lay it back into the case back. And literally from there it's using your cocktail stick and just kind of getting a bit of coffee on it. You can dab it on. Just like that, and I like to scratch a little bit of the loom because it seems to then stick in a little bit better. So if you go around and do every single one, each dial marker, just literally just get a bit more coffee. And then for the hands, you literally just do the same thing, so literally just put it in. Obviously try not to be too rough with the hands. The second hand is obviously the trickiest of them all because it's the most smallest. Now's a good time to check on the bezel. Looks like mine's definitely done, so I'm going to go and wash that off and see the results. So, just finished rinsing off the bezel. This must have definitely been an aftermarket bezel because compared to my Orient, it did not take long for the bleach to eat into the paint. So that's one thing you have got to be careful of literally just keep an eye on the bezel whilst it's sitting in the bleach. You'll start to notice like the purple out of the black bleeding through. And that's kind of when you want to take it out and rinse it off. This one's gone quite a bit, it didn't take that long at all. Most of the paint's actually come off, but it's gone quite a funky kind of look about it. I quite like it actually, so something a little bit different, and I might try it again with another bezel. I'll go find another bezel. Obviously there's loads of these online, so I'll have a look for that. So you can just see that some of the hour markers have just stained a little bit more than the other ones. That might just be because I put a little bit more on those ones than the other ones. So usually at this point I wipe it off with a cotton bud and then go around it again just to see where any little touch-ups need to be done. And so far so good, it's actually beginning to look quite nice. I quite like that. So now that's all dried off, we can then put it all back together again. It's just a simple case of just pushing the crown back in. It'll all click back in, you don't have to push anything in apart from the crown. You do that up. And now the movement and the dial is all back in. So that's all done back up tight. Then you just push the bezel back on. Put it back to where it's supposed to be. And then the finished article. Something a little bit different. I'll probably do the bezel again, to be honest, but I quite like it. There we have it. I'm really happy with the outcome. I think that looks quite nice. It's very easy to do. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So I recommend if you've got a watch you just want to add a bit of patina to, or want to mess about with, it is great fun actually. Just take it apart. Just don't do what I did and just leave the bezel in the bleach for too long. Just keep an eye on it when you're doing it. Another thing to note as well is we've been speaking to the guys over at Art of Horology. I don't know if you've seen their Instagram, but they go by that same name on Insta. And oh, bye then, Monty. He's clearly very bored of this video. Hopefully you've stayed a bit longer than he has. Yeah, we've been speaking to them. Those guys do some absolutely fantastic work, and we got a custom picture that we had sent over, and we got this last week. So a couple of our favourite watches, so obviously the 007, the Sub, then we've got the Turnograph, and then the Speedmaster. So very kindly as well, Art of Horology have offered a 10% discount to anyone who watches us. So if you just use the discount code clockbait, I'll add their website and the discount code in the description below. Just go on there, have a check out their stuff, very reasonably priced, great service as well. So yeah, I think you'll really like their stuff. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop us a like, drop us a comment below and tell us what you think of what I've done. It'd be great to see some of your pictures of any watches that you've played with and you've had a bit of patina to. Just head over to our Instagram and just tag us in, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.